What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the 31 Days of Horror. I'm your host, Moon616, and thank you once again for stopping in, guys. Yes, 31 Days of Horror, Volume 8, Day 15, coming at you live and direct. Alright, so for Day 15, we're going to take it to the homeland, the land of Canada. Yes, that's right. With a film that was released in, I believe, 1991, and it's a film I've actually seen a couple different times, but I haven't seen it since the days of VHS. Now, I know Severin actually put this one out on Blu-ray on a solo release, but I never picked it up for whatever reasons, and then when they announced this box set, All the Haunts Be Ours, which the film I'm going to talk about from 1991, Clearcut, is actually in this box set. I just decided to grab the box set, not grab the solo release. So, but yeah, Severin's actually released quite a few of the films within this box set as solo releases. Like they'd already released like Dark Waters. They released Eyes of Fire later on, Allison's Birthday, Vi. So a lot of these films are getting solo releases, but yeah, so that's why I just have the box set for this. I guess I could kind of show a little bit more of the artwork and stuff. But yeah, from 1991, Canadian cult classic, Clearcut, starring the one and only Graham Greene, who is like a Canadian legend, basically. You probably recognize that guy. He's honestly like a Canadian legend, native actor. He's got probably close to 200 acting credits, which is actually just bananas. But yeah, like I said, I hadn't seen the movie since I got this box set. I hadn't seen it since the days of VHS. And it's a film that really hits close to home for myself. Of course, it's being a Canadian movie with, you know, the Canadian social commentary in it within the native people and, you know, in the forest industry and stuff like that. And especially it hits close to home for myself because I live in BC, where forestry is a huge part of this province and stuff like that. In fact, the city I live in really used to thrive on, you know, the wood mills and the pulp mills and stuff like that. And of course, you know, so we deal with a lot of the social issues with the natives and stuff like that and everything, which is fine because I understand completely both sides of the argument that that is conveyed all the time and stuff like that. So, but what we have here is kind of this concept between the forest world and the native land and stuff like that. So getting into the quick little synopsis of Clearcut. Basically it follows a white lawyer who is the voice for this this native tribe, and what's happening is this manager of this mill has basically won this court battle to destroy this forest where these native people reside and stuff like that. And so the lawyer, he really wants to appeal this because he doesn't agree with what's going on, because they're doing it for like selfish reasons, and basically they're just kind of being criminal about the whole destruction of the forest and stuff like that. But he never really gets the chance to appeal this. So in steps Graham Greene's character, who plays like this extreme activist and stuff like that. He actually kidnaps the lawyer and the mill manager, and he takes them out to the forest, and what he wants to do is basically torture them and, you know, show the destruction from like the native perspectives, the native side of things and stuff like that. So that's basically the short and long of the synopsis of the film. My thoughts on this movie, man, this movie is just so fucking rich in like native folklore, which leads into the folk horror aspect of this film. There's a lot of really rich things that are happening. It's just, like I said before, it hits so close to home for myself, being, you know, with the forest industry in BC and stuff like that, and, you know, the native struggles, and just, you know, being right in the middle of this stuff. And like, it's just watching this kind of unfold on screen like this is just so interesting to see, because, you know, it's got this native folklore, but then it dives into this like really, really dark elements of like folk horror and stuff like that. And Graham Greene's character is like nothing like he's ever really played before. He's this extreme, you know, he's like this extremist activist that, you know, he's never really played, like, I mean, he's played bad guys in other films and stuff like that, but like this movie right here has got to be the crowning jewel of his career, man. I mean, he gets to play that native. I mean, probably, you know, he's probably had that some of his own ideologies within his performance, but you can tell he's having a lot of fun with this, and he's really putting a lot of effort into this. Man, this movie is fucking fantastic, man. It's directed by Richard, what's his name? Richard Buczynski. And I actually have this film sitting right here, which is called Interrogation. He's a Polish director. And this movie right here, we actually just reviewed this on the Simbin podcast. Now, it's a famous movie within Poland because he made this movie against, to basically try to bring down communism within Poland in the early 80s. And it got banned there for like 8-9 years. So, you know, it was a really beautiful, just dark, destructive film. It's crazy. It's pretty awesome stuff right here. So I feel like he was the right choice to bring in this type of film to be the direction within, you know, the social commentary for this film too. I think he did such a beautiful job, man. This whole movie is shot beautifully. The score is so fucking dark and haunting and amazing and stuff. Now, this movie isn't like your typical type folk horror type film / horror film. It has elements of both, but it's all there. It's all there. So once the abductions happen in this film, I mean, the whole movie has this like really kind of dark and dreary, kind of doom and gloom atmosphere to the film. But once they get abducted and things start happening within the folklore and, you know, the destruction and what he's trying to convey through the social commentary, it's just so incredibly dark and horrific and just nasty too. So there's a moment in the film where our white lawyer goes into like this teepee and he's like he's doing one of those kind of sweat rituals and stuff like that. And he has this vision, and that's really the whole key to the film. And I love the way this movie, where the narrative just progresses itself, because you take this one little moment in the film and it kind of conveys the rest of the narrative. And it's so beautifully done. There's so many questions in this film too. It's like, who exactly is Arthur, which is played by Graham Greene? Is he a real character? Is he not? Is he a vengeful spirit? You know, like there's so many questions, like, because he just kind of appears in the film. I mean, he's obviously physically there because other people can see him and stuff like that. But like what happens throughout this film, it's so like supernatural, and it dives so deep into native folklore, and it just thrives into the folk horror elements of it, and it makes you question everything. It's just so beautifully done. I love the social commentary in the film. It's great. I think the ending is awesome too. There's a key moment in the end of the film where it really makes you realize like, oh shit, you know, that folklore, that's some real thick stuff right there. So yeah, fantastic film. It's got some real nasty parts in it, man. There's a part where somebody's getting skinned. Man, it's just fucking brutal and stuff like that. Some nasty deaths in this, but everything that is being conveyed in this film is so effective. Like right from the opening abductions to a key scene with Arthur Graham Greene's character. It's just amazing. I think this movie is just so rich in story and in social commentary that you got to see it. And like I said though, like if you're not Canadian, it might not hit as close to home, but you don't even have to understand the social commentary really to understand and enjoy this film. I mean, you can take it for just like a folk horror film in itself, really. And I think a lot of people will, because if you don't know, you know, the true struggles of what's going on within Canada with, you know, with natives in the forest industry and stuff like that, then, you know, it is what it is, right? But you can take this film for what it is and just enjoy it as a regular folk horror film, which just so rich in that, you know, that native lore. Awesome. One of my favorite performances ever by Graham Greene. I think it's just fantastic. But, you know, like I said, beautifully shot in Southern Ontario. I think in, somewhere in Southern Ontario. It's really beautifully shot. But the score is like, it's so dark and moody and so fucking perfect in this. There's so many great visuals, some really good blood and gore effects. It's got it all there, man. It really does. But it's funny because when you pop in this film right from the start of the movie, it doesn't seem like it's going to be what it becomes, and that's what really kind of sells this movie. It's fantastic. There's like an old man native character in this film too. It's just a fantastic contrast to Arthur in the film too. It's really, really beautifully done. And I like kind of the subtext that's within the film too, like how they portray everything that's going on. It's, in a sense, it's almost a little bit nihilistic too, because they kind of convey everybody as being the evil, right? I mean, in a sense, they almost look at Arthur as being this vengeful spirit, you know, but then they look at the lawyer as, you know, taking advantage of, you know, there's a dollar in everything, right? If you're defending this, you know, you're defending these actions, you're getting paid to do this and stuff like that. And same with the mill manager. He's that necessary, you know, capitalistic, you know, bad person too. So it's like it kind of showcases all that within the film too, and it's like, damn, it's crazy. I'm not really into politics and stuff like that, but I understand a lot of that type of stuff. But I can see that it's very rich in the narrative here and too, and it's interesting. It's an interesting way of portraying this whole folklore. So I'm coming in at a 9 out of 10 on this movie. It is fantastic. I think everyone should check this out. It's just a really, really damn good film. And God bless Graham Greene, man. That's one of the best performances. Like I said, I hadn't seen this movie probably since the mid 90s, and I was just blown away by everything in this movie. It's a fantastic film. Really, really good stuff. So yeah, that's Clearcut. Don't want to give everything away about the film, but I highly, highly recommend it. Like I said, it does have a solo release from Severin, but you can also find it in this box set, which is just an amazing folklore box set. So, you know, if you're on the fence about getting this thing, everything that I've watched in this box set is fantastic. I mean, it has vibe. I did Lake of the Dead a couple years ago on this channel, or on this 31 Days of Horror, and so on and so on. There's lots of good stuff. But anyways, I digress. But and if you want to not watch, it's not necessarily a horror film, but this is like the most dark shit that you'll ever see in your life, is Interrogation. It's fucking brutal. Might as well be a horror film. But anyways, from the same director. So, but yeah, so that's going to conclude day 15 here on the 31 Days of Horror. And I'll check you guys tomorrow on day 16. And I have actually no idea what's up next. I didn't even look. So, to see how my randomizer. If you guys are wondering whenever I say that, it's because I put all the films in a randomizer that I chose to do, and that built my playlist. So just doing it how it did for me. Kind of like how I used to do on the 52 horrific weeks of whatever year I was doing. So, but yeah, anyways, guys, and as usual, I'm out of here.